Hi, I'm Captain Grant Coppin with Texas Fishing Tips, and this is your weekly fishing report.
Alright, over here in the Packery channel, it is packed. Lots of people fishing right over the bridge, catching tons of sheephead, and they are good to eat. Live shrimps, the way they're doing it. Also out of the jetties, catching the black drum, still getting the oversized, getting some keepers also, but the oversized are just tons of fun, both on the north and the south jetty. The tide runners, I know it's still a little bit early, but the other day I came over here and caught 3 or 4 really nice trout. So it's right around the corner. Those tide runners are going to start coming in through the Packery channel. One of the things that I do when I'm in the channel here is I'll put a slip cork on and set that bobber stopper at about 10-12 feet and just let it drift down the channel. Sometimes I'll put the trolling motor on and just drift with it, and that keeps that bait right in a good strike zone. Let it go around some structure and catch both nice trout and sheep's head. Over here in Deadman's, we've been finding some black drum. There's a big school over here by the duck blind. Also over here in Ace's Hole, there's been a few little smaller schools. But if you come in here, just come all the way down to the north end, put the power poles down, look for the school. Even if you don't see the school, throw a couple of shrimp out there on the bottom, because the school is kind of staying down and coming up, staying down and coming up, and when they're down, they're really feeding good. So you can come in here and throw the shrimp on the bottom. The perch have not been so bad lately, so with the cooler water temperatures, you can come in here and do that. In the summertime, when you do it, there's a lot of perch activity in here, so it makes it a little bit tougher. But just come on here to the north side of Deadman's, get right on the drop off, and throw some shrimp on the bottom, catch plenty of black drum. Had a little bit of higher tides, allowed me to venture out into the flats. I've got that V-bottom boat, but when the tide comes up, I always come up here into the flats and do some drifting with popping corks and live shrimp. On the gloomier, nastier, overcast, a little bit of rain, a little bit of wind, those days have been really good up in here catching redfish. Just get up real shallow, drift with those popping corks and live shrimp, and there's some really nice reds in here to be caught. And we'll also catch an occasional black drum and an occasional trout. But really the thing is the redfish right in here around the Sulphur Road, flat, and islands. Over here on the south shore of Baffin, still getting those redfish drifting. Both on a north wind or south wind, it really doesn't matter. If it's blowing the north wind, it makes for a bumpy ride getting over here. If it blows with the south wind, you can kind of come over here and run down the shoreline, drift out. Once you get out to the drop off, come back around and drift out. You can either throw the lures, the plastics, paddle tails. I've been using a little bit of a darker color, the Morning Glory, or the key lime pie has been working. That's always one of my favorites with the white tails. But also if you're throwing bait, just a popping cork and shrimp when you can find it. Now, the bait has been a little bit hard to find. We've got a couple of marinas going all the way to Galveston to find live shrimp. That's a little odd for this time of year. Usually we can find some live shrimp pretty much at any marina, but it's been a little tough to find. So if you want to throw some lures, you can put a paddle tail under a cork, you can throw a gulp under a cork, or you can just throw a dark color paddle tail and just work it slow through here, get some really nice redfish. Alright, over here in Comport the Pass, the drum are still here, and they are thick. One of the things that we've had a trouble with lately is there's been a bunch of boats in here fishing these. What I recommend is if you come in here, just come in here with your trolling motor. Try not to run your big engine too much, because there are a lot of boats in here, so it's putting a lot of pressure on the fish. If you still want to stay in here and try to catch these fish, what I've done to be successful is come in here, power pull down. If somebody's just downwind of you, maybe move forward a little bit just so you can have a little bit of a clean shot downwind of you. Also, try to find a little edge off the beaten path. Over here, close to the King Ranch shoreline, just past that teal cabin, there's some deeper water right here. It's like 7-8 foot of water. If you get right up against that grass line, you kind of get away from all the boats that are just out there in the middle. When you're out there in the middle, you're catching a lot of the oversized ones. And when you get tucked up against the grass line, you get more keepers. And if you get up shallow enough, you get some redfish. Fewer black drum, but more redfish. And we just been throwing shrimp on the bottom or shrimp in a pothole and just letting it sit. Like I said earlier, the perch are not as bad yet, so we're not having to deal with the trash fish. Just come in here, move around, don't give up too early. Also, if you moved around and you haven't caught anything in here, go somewhere else, fish a little bit, and once all these boats kind of get out of here, come back in here. That's what I've done. And later in the day, it seems like the bite's a little bit better once some of these boats have left and you can still catch them.
Grant Coppin, thanks for watching.